Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony, along with Chris, Leon, and Marco. And this is episode 47 of Hard Knock Hawks. This is the podcast where we talk about our favorite team, the Atlanta Hawks, and sometimes other stuff in the NBA too. Before we start, we would like to always remind you to like, subscribe, and share the podcast to help us grow. In this episode, we are going to be continuing our over-under series for Western Conference teams. We did 8 teams during the last 2 parts, and we are going to finish the rest of the conference in the final part with the Houston Rockets at 56 and a half games. And I'm going to read out their potential starting lineup I made up. Their potential starting lineup could be Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. I'm going to start with you, Marco. What's your thoughts on the Houston Rockets in this West?
I'm gonna take that over. Especially if KD can stay healthy with that current group they have, it's pretty nice. I think it really just relies on KD, but I believe KD can stay healthy at this point in his career. Really only need about 55, 60 games for him in a regular season, as long as he shows up for the playoffs. He has a good supporting cast. He has a twin on there, so any team with a twin usually is cooking immediately. Sengun, I expect him to make a decent leap. I think I actually like the Rockets a lot. I don't believe I do have them coming out of the West if they can stay healthy, because I feel like that is a hard team to beat. And Ime, he's a very good coach. He keeps their heads on straight. He made Jalen Green look serviceable. So I'm gonna take the over on that. What about you, Chris?
The Rockets are a very good team. I think they made an all-in move with Kevin Durant to kind of really go at the Thunder, right? I think they capitalizing on Sengun kind of coming into his own, and you got Amen Thompson also on the rise. Faith in Jabari Smith, I think, as a defender, he gives you a lot of what you need, especially with KD at this time. I really like that team. What's the number, Ant?
It was 56 and a half games.
56 and a half. Dude, that's a crazy number, though.
Yeah.
I think they won 52 last year.
Yes, they did. They won 52.
That's it's Kevin Durant more than 4 wins. I think the West is just so good that even if they're top of the West, I think they'll probably be one of the top 2 teams. I don't know that they're going to get 56. There's I'm gonna go under just because that's just a crazy amount of wins. If you take the over there, they're basically winning 60, and I just don't know how possible it is to win 60 in that West. You'd have to just really stack up some wins against these. So yeah, I'm gonna go under there, Leon.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. Wow. 56 and a half wins for the Houston Rockets. I think Chris said it all. Um, Essentially, you upgraded from Jalen Green to Kevin Durant. Um, it's a pretty big upgrade. Is that worth 4 wins? I mean, he's a heck of a defender. They got Dorian Finney-Smith, obviously, who was another guy we would have been a great backup 3. Reed Shepard is probably the wild card here. If he's good, just like lowercase g good, they could win 57 games. But if he's just fine or okay, it gets a little hazy. You never know how many games Kevin Durant's going to play. I do worry that they do play a physical brand of basketball, and that might come back to bite them, having Kevin Durant, who is, he's there when it matters most of the time. But as far as getting to 57 wins, I'm not so sure. So that's why I'm taking the under. I mean, they're going to be a really good team. I expect them to at least be in the Western Conference semifinals. But I think the West is, as you said, extremely deep. So, and on a day where Kevin Durant doesn't play, and you play a team like the Portland Trailblazers, and they're at full strength, and it's the middle of March, and you're on the road, and it's cold, they'll lose that game. Who's next?
Oh, me. I am gonna say under as well. I think, like you, Leon, mentioned, I am concerned about like potentially KD possibly getting injured. I think he hasn't obviously been as reliable in the past few years because of obviously like the Achilles injuries. As of late, I think it's Achilles injuries. I forgot. Sorry about forgetting that, but it's also because I think it's also because they're still just a young team and they're still just progressing. And this is just a very tough conference. So it's just going to be really hard for them to just be possibly getting up to like 55, 56 wins. You want to say something?
I don't think they're super young anymore.
I mean, how old are they? Hold on. Let me check.
They're going to start 230.
They got
Yeah,
young
that's true.
vets because what Sengun's signed an
Yeah.
extension, Jabari signed
like
Amen.
even in their top 8, like you got like 3 30-year-olds.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, they got KD
and Clint Capella. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Steven Adams, Clint. It's
Not
a
really
good
young,
mix.
yeah.
It's a good mix of young players.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what you want.
It's probably more because
like
of
Tari's like
yeah.
the cutoff for young, really.
Yeah.
I
think it's go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just more because of how competitive the West is, especially with I think a few of the other teams that we're going to be talking about. I think it's just going to be really hard for them to get those like 4 or 5 extra wins, especially if like, let's say KD or Sengun possibly gets injured or something like that. Now they may have the depth to cover it, but it's just something we'll have to wait in the regular season to see if they can cover from that. So I think I can make a fair take it, just say under. I think they'll go past the 52, but I think it may be like 54 or 53 or 54 wins. It may be close to it, but we'll see. Let's go to the next team, the Denver Nuggets. 53.5 games over and under. Their potential starting lineup is Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and they recently traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. So that's why I put Cam Johnson there at the 3, even though that's arguably not his best position. But their new coach for the Denver Nuggets after firing, I forgot his name too, dang. I'm forgetting a lot of names today.
Michael Malone.
Michael Malone, thank you. After firing Michael Malone, they're probably going to experiment with Cam Johnson a lot at the 4, which is probably going to be useful considering how bad the Nuggets have been without Jokic on the court. So I'm going to start with you, Chris. What's your general thoughts on the Denver Nuggets 53.5?
Denver Nuggets are another really good team. Obviously, the West is loaded, like we said. They have a guy who's one of the more dominant players in the sport right now. They probably traded their worst perimeter defender for one of their better ones coming into this season. I think Cam Johnson kind of does exactly what you want from, well, he's not quite the shooter Michael Porter Jr. is. I think Mike takes some really tough shots for them, and for what they kind of need, right? He's able to play in a phone booth and just get it up. So I think he did fit there, but I think in today's NBA, at that position, you really want some defense. So bringing in Cam Johnson could be big for them. I think that a lot of the teams in the West were between 48 and 52 wins. So I think they'll be in that range again. 53.5 is a high number in the West. I'm gonna take the over on this because I think they'll probably be a top 3 seed in that conference, and that could be 45 win or 54 wins. Sorry, but like 3 teams like right there, something around there. So yeah, I'll take the over on the Nuggets just because I think Joker's peaking. They made a move that probably energized the team. They had a bit of a disappointing into the season, obviously, when you lose in the playoffs. So yeah, I think they're motivated. They made a big trade, and yeah, I'll take the over.
What do you think, Leon?
I'm going to take the over as well because I don't really see, as Chris said, like a team that's going to jump them. But that we've discussed, like there's a clear tier drop off unless the Timberwolves are just everybody gets better and all these young guys that they're going to rely on next year are good. I think there is a solid tier 1 in the West with those 3 teams: the Nuggets, Rockets, and obviously the defending champion Thunder. Yeah, I like Cam Johnson a lot. Obviously, would have liked him on the team. I think it's interesting that now, if you look at it with Cam Johnson and Aaron Gordon, as Aaron Gordon has kind of matured as a player, you can have them kind of both do a little bit of the same things and really get AG going downhill more. And obviously Cam can do a little bit of that, but is primarily a shooter and spacer cutter. The role is similar, but I think it's probably a better culture fit because he's a lot more low maintenance than a guy like MPJ is. So overall, it seems like a lateral move. Obviously, they saved a little money, but I think that he's going to be better for them simply because of personality, really. So yeah, I'm gonna go over. Marco, 53.5 wins for the Nuggies. What you got?
The Nuggets are a weird team to me. As of where they stand right now, I do think they improved getting MPJ and turning MPJ into Cam Johnson. You got a similar player, more consistent player for a way cheaper contract that does help you in the long run. I think the Nuggets really just depend on Jamal Murray really helping out Jokic and Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon has been a better running mate for Jokic than Jamal at times. Crazy thing to say, but I'm gonna take the over on them. Just because it's Jokic at the end of the day, that is a top 5 player in the league. Top 2, really. The top 2 so that is can't really count Joker out. He can carry a team on his back. He has some decent running mates. And with the addition of Cam Johnson, I think that makes a lot of things easier. Cam Johnson is good without the ball. You need him for a quick corner pop 3. That's really all you want him to do is make his shot. So I will take the over on the Nuggets.
For me, I am gonna take the over as well. They didn't just trade for Cam Johnson. They got Jonas Valanciunas. They got Bruce Brown back from when they won the championship in 2022. They got dang, I keep forgetting names today. Sorry. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. Deron Holmes came back from his injury from last year. So they got a bunch of their depth back that they needed like desperately, considering how they were playing the playoffs from like a 6-man rotation. So I think with that improved depth, they should be able to go through the regular season like way easier this time around, and that should probably be able to get them like 3 extra wins basically. They won 50 games last year. I don't think they should have a problem at all getting like 4 wins easily with that extra depth. So I think honestly it should be an easy over. So you said over, right, Marco?
I did.
Yeah. So this is the first one I think everyone agrees with. It's all over. So yeah, there we go. So I'm over, and then everyone else says over. So we're gonna go on to our next team, the Phoenix Suns, 31.5. The potential starting lineup this one's gonna be interesting. Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Mark Williams. I'm gonna start with this one. I think I'm gonna take the under for this one. I just don't think this team is gonna mesh that well, honestly. Mark Williams is a very injury-prone center, and if he gets injured, they're gonna be relying on Maluach, who is a rookie center, and he may not be that great on defense. He could, but we don't know until he plays. Devin Booker is gonna be playing the point guard, and while he was fine, like during that season, it may not work super well with Jalen as the point of attack defender. I don't see how it's gonna really work on defense when the Suns don't really have like that many reliable forwards they can use other than Dylan Brooks and Ryan Dunn. When I was trying to like make a starting lineup for this one, I was kind of like confused because they don't really have many consistent forwards they can use other than like maybe Ryan Dunn at the forward or Rasheer Fleming, and even then it's like I just don't think it's gonna really mesh well together. I'll go to you, Leon. What do you think? I said under for this one. Under 31.5.
I want to go over, but the West is just so deep,
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's such a weird team, and this is their third coach in 3 years. So
true.
Third coach in 3 years.
Point Book. I don't know how Point Book's going to work with this group. He did it for a while, a couple of years ago, and he was halfway decent, but that was a much, much different team than this team.
And they had KD.
Yeah, true. This team that's just been put together. If we're being honest, like their roster's completely different. I don't even know. Is Jalen Green your number 2? And if so, who's your number 3? If you have one, it's rough. So, completely different starting lineup, almost than last year. Yeah, completely different starting lineup. Obviously, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks weren't on the team. Completely different centers. They have a completely new center room. If you count, Nick, in the past 7 or 8 months, obviously they got Nick Richards at the deadline, but man, yeah, I'm gonna go over because why not? I like too many guys on the team. Obviously, I think Rasheer is gonna be instant impact as an older player. I obviously like Kaman, and I think it's one of those. I'm looking at the names on the roster, namely, and I just feel as though they'll grind out more wins than I think because of personality. And I know I've said that multiple times in the last couple. Yeah, I just like this roster. I don't think they'll be very good, but I think they can sneak into 32 wins. I have to ask myself, well, do I feel like they can sneak into 32 wins? And I do. So I'm going over for the Suns.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think 31 is just crazy low. I really think Devin Booker's a great basketball player. Jalen Green was just a part of a 50-win team. I think Mark Williams, if he's healthy, this is a team that is likely to give him the ball a lot. And this is a guy that was interestingly productive. The Lakers wanted to bring him in. That's a team that was really competitive in the West last year. I think the big issue with Mark, right, is that he is injury prone. I don't know that he's a bad basketball player.
He's not bad at all. That's not the issue.
Yeah, I like their draft picks. I wanted Kaman. I wanted Rasheer Fleming. If that had been our draft, I would have been freaking out about how much athleticism and size. I think Kaman's a crazy prospect. I think he might not be that guy this year in terms of making a real impact, but I think over the next couple years he could round into one of the better centers in the league. It's just a position that it's getting deeper. There's some size coming in, but with how much skill is required to play in today's NBA, it's just going to be hard to find many guys as big as Kaman with that type of physicality that he already plays with as a screener, that he's willing to play with on offensive glass, the energy. I think that's a big time player. Rasheer, similarly, I think he was made to play in today's NBA. Big athlete, and they already had Ryan Dunn there, who's a really good defender. It's really going to come down to the coach. If he's a guy that can connect with his players right away and get the guys going. I think that's a team that could sniff I don't think they're going to be in the play-in. I don't know if they're going to be a 500 team. I think they'll look like one for a lot of the season. So I think they'll be closer to 40 wins than 30 wins. So for me, I'll take the over. I think the West is really good, but I think Devin Booker is good enough to steal them some games. I don't know if they'll be like the West version of the Hawks the last few years, but I think there's some parallels with like our team, maybe that like DJ team, just the imperfect guard duo, but it's two guards that can score, so they're going to win some games on some nights. So, yeah, I'll take the over.
Marco, what you say?
What is their projection at again?
31 and a half games.
31?
Yeah, 31 and a half.
That's kind of low for a Devin Booker-led team. Suns did have a good draft. I was as high on Kaman as Chris. They had a pretty decent draft. I'm trying to figure out who else they have on the roster before I fully dive. I'm taking the over it regardless. Just because I feel like for a Devin Booker-led team, Jalen Green too. I think Jalen Green can still get you over a decent hump. I guess we're all confused on how Jalen Green and Booker will work. And is Bill coming off the bench, or how is that working? Either way, they have some solid.
Bill got
Oh yeah, Bill did. Okay.
Yeah, he's on Clippers now.
I forgot about that. That's how lame that news was.
Oh my god.
I still believe in them. I'm taking the over because even if you take away that, they still have they have two decent young guys that I badly wanted on the Hawks. I think Rasheer definitely can be something in today's league. Mark Williams is still a solid center if he can stay healthy. I know it's a lot of mixed opinion on him, but I do believe in what Mark Williams could possibly be for that team. Other than that, they still have Dylan Brooks too. Yeah, I'm confident in my over. I think it really just depends on how much support can Jalen Green and Devin Booker can get from their teammates. Did Leon already go?
Yeah, he did. He said everyone said over except me. I said under.
You just wanted to be different, huh?
No, listen.
I mean, he went first, so
yeah, I went.
Can't really say that.
I just really. I think Devin Booker's an awesome player.
You hate Jalen Green.
Yeah, that's one reason. I just don't think the roster's gonna mesh well. Honestly, I just don't believe in the roster.
I think if they didn't have a new coach, I'd be a little bit more confounded. But because they have a new coach, I think that he's going to do what works. I would hope that he does what works, and I think what works. I mean, the big question is, what are they doing at the 4? I think the 1 through 3 is pretty much sewn up. At the 5, it doesn't particularly matter who starts. They're kind of all the same player, and archetype anyways. Obviously, some are more mature than others, more or less injury prone than others. But we're talking about 7 athletic 7-footers who, in theory, can protect the rim and, catch lobs. Obviously, varying degree of off the dribble stuff. They're a little bit different in space, but I don't know who starts at the 4 for them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can start Ryan Dunn, but
yeah.
with that team. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, 'cause I just put him there just because. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, he's the guy. There's nobody else besides rookies or like
Royce O'Neal, but then it's just super small.
You can't not in the West.
Yeah,
not in the West.
It's not gonna work,
yeah, no.
especially how big teams are. So they're gonna get killed. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Suns are gonna be interesting. I maybe they're probably gonna prove me wrong. I think because, like I said, Devin Booker's a really good player.
Well, what I'll say is to Leon's point about like the new coach, I think like because he won't be stuck in his ways or anything. You're just trying to build something brand new, right? So if he can put something together that they like, I mean, look, Devin Booker is going to have the ball. I think Jalen Green is like a number 2. That's kind of where he needs to be. I don't know that he's a lead guard. There's a lot of pressure on him to be that for Houston. So I think he can maybe be their Jaylen Brown. He's not really as strong, but I don't know that he'll have wings on him, right? It's likely going to be guards. So yeah, I think it's an interesting team. It's really going to come down to the defense for me. I think that's going to be a lot on Devin Booker. I don't know the type of defender Jalen Green. I don't know if you're going to put him on the ball. I think Booker is going to have to defend a lot more wings than he probably would want to at this stage. So yeah, that's the thing for me is the defense, and if Mark Williams is healthy. But I think that's a team that 38 wins is reasonable.
Yeah, I can see that. But let's move on to our next team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Reminder, we have their pick this year, so if people want to cheer for them possibly taking in the future, you can do that. The potential starting lineup is Jordan Poole, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missy. You may wonder why DeJounte Murray is in the lineup. It's because he had an ACL tear midway through half season. He probably will be in the starting lineup eventually, but for now, I just put Jordan Poole in the point guard position because he's their best player available there. So I'm going to start with you, Marco. What do you think of the New Orleans Pelicans at 29.5 games, over or under?
I'm taking the under on that, man. I don't really think Zion hasn't showed me enough to believe that he can play a full season. And how he was moving this offseason with the recent activities I've seen from him, he's not serious. And DeJounte, I don't know. I don't really think DeJounte is a 1A player. We've said that before. When he was on the Spurs, we said that he wasn't even really a 1B when he was here, but that's just how that shit goes. Didn't mean to cuss right there. My fault. The Pelicans are in a weird spot because I think Jose got hurt during the EuroLeague stuff, right? Somebody got hurt.
Yeah. Jose Alvarado did get hurt. So
yeah, so it's like it's like Dyson said that the franchise is cursed. I don't really think they have much going for it, and I think this would be the season where they kind of are like, okay, let's really lock in and try to figure out what's really going on, because you have Trey Murphy and you have Herb that you could really build around if you wanted to, more so Trey than Herb. I think I just don't think they have a true direction right now. I don't think that the roster is good enough to compete with how the West is. Like I said, and if Zion doesn't give you a full season, then that's kind of in the gutter. But yeah, I'm gonna take the under on that. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go next. I'm gonna say this is really just dependent on whether or not I think Zion's healthy, because get just 20 or 30, not 20 or something. I mean 30 games. they won 21 games, and Zion played, I think, like 40 something, 30 something games. I gotta check real quick. Hold on. He played 30 games, he won 21 games. So I am gonna say over, simply because I do think that he will probably be more healthier than last year. But I do think their season is probably gonna be them just seeing how, just gonna be like a season of them just more or less judging how everything is just gonna go for all the players that they have, because I think they're eventually gonna have to just trade some players like Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, because eventually they have players like who they just drafted. I gotta check and see. I think Jeremiah Fears. They drafted Derek Queen, who they traded up for. So they want to just like test the waters and see like who they want to keep in the future. So I assume at this point they want to try to do like this development thing and try win games at the same time. And I don't know how well it's gonna go for them, but at the end of the day, I think they're probably gonna be good enough to where if Zion's healthy, they're gonna win more than 30 games. So I'm gonna say over. What do you say, Leon?
I'm saying under, simply because I want it to be, and I'm manifesting.
Oh my
29
God.
and a half wins for this roster. Another roster that just kind of, it's going to be different for Zion for the first time in a while. Very different surroundings for him. I've seen videos of Eve shooting a little bit, but I'm not sure how that's going to translate to the court immediately. And Jordan Poole can do a little bit of his own thing, and he's going to have an opportunity to do that, especially early in the season. But I don't know how that's going to go continually. And, as the season gets on and on, Trey's going to get, more back healthy after he tore his labrum earlier this year. And, Zion, if he's available, is going to obviously want the ball. And I think that's kind of like a recurring issue with the Pelicans. It's how are you gonna run this? Is it gonna be Jordan Poole and Zion Williamson pick and rolls, and then everybody else is spacing off of that? Most of the time, if you're not doing that, like what else are you really doing? Besides having Zion attack obviously off the dribble himself, it's an interesting group. They're rookies. I don't know if that's going to help them a lot early. Again, completely new group. Like they're not even, and I think it's tough for rookies to come into situations where everything ahead of them has changed also. There's not an established group of guys, at least in some form or fashion, who, at least 2 or 3 years, some kind of core. It can be rough for guys early on. So I think it's going to take them a while to figure it out at all, even if they do. When they do, who's going to be healthy when they figure it out, and how do they figure it out? I don't think Willie Green is extremely creative offensively. I think they'll be pretty good on defense, but I don't think it's going to matter because of how erratic the offense will be. They'll win some games, but the unders just in that West, man, and they'll go into Boston and lose. They'll play this Boston team and lose. That team will play this Boston team and lose. So I'll take the under. Who's next, man? Chris?
What do you say, Chris?
I'll be honest. Don't know what the number is. I think 29 and a half.
29 and a half.
Something like that. This is like Leon. I too think you speak things into existence. I think words have power. So I'm gonna take the under, even if I didn't believe it, which I do. I'm gonna take the under. I don't really like the group they're putting together. I think they just took 2 lottery picks, and I think when you get a new guy coming in and he takes 2 lottery picks, one that he traded for and like really, really wanted to get, I think those guys are gonna play minutes. I don't think they're gonna watch much basketball, so They're going to be trying to get two guys on the floor that aren't really going to help them win games. I think they have.
I mean, Jeremiah Fierce is going to play because Jose Alvarez out with that sprain. So
And DeJounte is hobbled at best.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like they have
that's a given.
half their vets are coming back from
Then,
injury.
what else do they have?
Zion, I think, joined a gang. So
They have
there's
Hawkins.
a lot going on in New Orleans. I don't think that they're going to be too focused on wins. There's going to be a lot of things going on. I don't think there's going to be much winning.
I mean,
and to Leon's point, I'm not a big Willie Green guy. I don't know that he's going to be the dude to revolutionize the NBA. And I think if you're going to win with Zion and Derek Queen, you're going to have to come up with something special. I think they kind of are the same player offensively and kind of defensively too. It's not great for their future. I think they're they're probably closer to tearing it down than they want to admit. But after giving the Hawks that pick accidentally, I think they're kind of stuck trying to win, and because of that, they'll probably sniff 30. But I'm going under. Yeah, I think that's.
Wait, what do you mean they gave us the pick accidentally?
Rumor has it that Joe Dumars thought he could only trade the Milwaukee portion of the pick and made the deal thinking that he was only giving away theirs, and ended up giving away both, like just the whole thing at the end. So yeah, he ended up giving us their pick next year, thinking they would still have one. So it was a team that probably was gonna.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
And blow it up.
I don't believe that. I know. Like that. That's something you can literally look on Fanspo right now and just look at. Milwaukee.
Dumars went
Pelicans
from the league office. He came from the league office. He shouldn't have to look it up on Fanspo.
You can that's like. I mentioned the Fanspo thing because you can literally look it up.
Joe Dumars is a tear down specialist.
That's funny.
Well, the thing is, the story was that the Hawks were shocked on draft night when they got offered the pick, and they talked to him multiple times. Ansi got Joe on the phone to confirm they're making this trade, and I think Joe didn't realize why the Hawks were so excited about it. They're like, "Oh, you're just getting Milwaukee." No, Joe, we're getting your top 5 pick next year. Appreciate it, because I think they have some pieces that probably could have sold pretty well at the deadline. I'm not sure where DeJounte would be, but you got Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and Zion. That's 3 wings, right? That people would probably all give multiple first-round picks for. Zion kind of messing that up. But if he was healthy and being Zion, right, wins or losses, someone would have wanted him, and they might still want him. It's just not going to be for much the way he's acting off the court. But yeah, so I'm gonna take the under. I think that's a team that's imploding, whether that's intentionally or not. Joe Dumars is there to start a new Pelicans era, and they will be admitting that within the next year and a half.
All right. Well, let's go to the next team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. 49.5 games over and under. Their potential starting lineup, well, I shouldn't say potential, it's always their lineup. Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. I'm going to start with you, who has not gone first in a minute. Chris, you go ahead first.
Sorry, did you give their number? I didn't hear you.
Oh, 49.5.
49.5.
Yeah.
That's a good number. I mean, I think that's a 50-win team in most years. This is a West that kind of loaded up at the top. The Warriors imported Eastern Conference superstar, and the Suns kind of gave 2 superstars to other teams. So it's going to be tough to win 50 games. You got to be really, really good.
They won 49 games last year, by the way.
Yeah, and I think losing Nah is not great for them. I think his depth and shooting was kind of important. It's you're gonna need the good McDaniels brother to really turn it up. I think for them to get 50 in that West. Now, Ant supposedly is in a bunker somewhere trying to become Baby Jordan for real. So if he can unlock another level, which he says that he will, I think that 50 would be within reach. Man, that's a really good number. I'm going to say under. I think they end up somewhere around 48 just because I think they're top end. They don't have the ball handling I think they'll need, and the amount of scoring. I don't know if they have a second guy that can really light it up next to Ant, and I think he'll need that some nights. And I think there's some teams that have a lot of threats in that conference. So yeah, I'll say under. They'll be a playoff team. I don't think they're in worry of being in the play-in or anything. But yeah, I'm gonna go under.
All right. What you say, Marco?
What is the number again?
49.5 wins.
I think the Timberwolves really just depend on how much impact did Nikhil have for you, and can you replace what he gave you? Can Jaden McDaniels? I'm talking like Ant now. Can he
Oh my
really
God.
make
Really? Okay.
Can he make like sort of some offensive leap to keep the team afloat? I don't really, or are they like I don't know. I don't really know the direction of what the T Wolves are technically doing. They still want to compete, of course, but it's like after Ant, then who's next? Because you really didn't replace
Randall.
It is Randall there, but they still do have Randall. I don't know why I thought he would. Like, I don't really keep up with the West teams too much. They're not my problem. But I mean, even with Randall, I don't really buy too much. I don't know. It's just like, do they want Nas to have a bigger role? Can Nas like really excel in that bigger role? Blah blah blah. It's a lot of question marks with them. And I don't think they really had any like solid free agency signings for what they could do. But outside of re-signing a couple people. But 49. I'm gonna say the under just because to me that team is how far can Ant take you. That's how I feel on it. It's just like back in our 21 version of the Hawks, it's like how far can Trae Young take you and go from there. He has a somewhat better supporting cast than what we had at that time, but it really just depends on how far Ant can take them. So I'm gonna say the under. Leon.
So their center room is in full. Rudy Gobert, Jean Beringer, and Rocco Zakarski. So I think that's going to give them trouble throughout the season. Because I'm not sure if they've obviously Rocco's on a two-way, but they got Leonard Miller in there. I haven't seen anything that makes me believe that they believe in Leonard Miller. I don't know why nobody believes in Leonard Miller. But Rudy Gobert is not the young man he once was, and it could get a little rough for them defensively when he's not on the floor, in my opinion. Mike Conley also is nearing year 20 in the NBA. He was born in 1987. Terrence Shannon Jr. is the only player that I really think can give them something extra off the dribble on the wing, so to speak, but he's also really just a big guard. Rob Dillingham, it's Rob Dillingham. Wild card, you never know. But I do worry about what they also have at the three behind Jaden McDaniels. Did they draft anybody? Am I missing something? I feel like they drafted somebody that I like.
I don't.
Rocco Zakarsky. That's it, right?
Yeah, it was Rocco.
Yeah, I was taking the under the whole way.
Rocco and Behringer.
Yeah, obviously, right? Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to take that under. I think that you lost a real glue guy, and I'm not entirely sure that the replacements are going to be able to replace as such. I do like Terrence Shannon as a basketball player, but given a consistent role, it could get interesting with him. Hopefully, he buys in. It seems like he likes it there, so it could work. But I'm taking that under. And again, a loaded Western Conference.
I agree with what a lot of you said, Leon. I'm gonna take the under as well. I think it's gonna be less about what Anthony Edwards does and more about what the players surrounding him do. Because, like you said, Leon, Mike Conley is almost entering his 20th year in the league, and Rudy Gobert is basically almost out of his prime. So basically out of his prime soon. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the Timberwolves are gonna be tackling these issues about whether or not or how they're gonna like affect their offense and their defense, because without Rudy Gobert, their defense isn't really that good. That's probably why they drafted Joan how do you say his last name, excuse me? Beringer, or is it Behringer, like that? Because
BNJ.
Beringer, okay, Beringer, okay, Joan Beringer, like that, simply because they knew. You know, okay, I'm just gonna call him Joan. They probably drafted Joan just because they knew they had a problem like that, and obviously with Rob Dillingham, they hope that he could be that Mike Conley replacement and could feel that like scoring punch and like off that playmaking that Mike Conley provided for this team, because if he can't do that, then it's gonna be like this huge hole for that offense, because they can't just simply just put Anthony Edwards in like at the one and just hope that will be able to work in like something like a playoffs or something. Now, I'm interested to see whether or not they're just gonna be playing like Dante DiVincenzo a lot at the three a bunch, basically, and just if that's just gonna be their solution, because I think he's just a great glue guy generally for the most part. But yeah, I'm gonna take the under, since I just don't think they have a lot of solutions right now generally for what their team have for the problems that I think the Timberwolves have right now. We're gonna go on to the next team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, 62.5 games over and under. They're SGA, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hardenstein. I'm gonna start with you, Leon. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna go under because I think they're gonna force Topic into their lineup, and I think it's gonna cost them a few games. And again, a very loaded West. I think what they had last year with Kaysen is perfect because he's just another defender and it allows Shea to play at an MVP level. But I mean, unless you got like Topic is like your Giddy replacement in a way that he's the backup point guard, he kind of handles those duties. Then maybe, if he's healthy, it can work. But he can't shoot right now, so hell, they might not even play him. They might just go with Kaysen Wallace. So it's hard when you win the ring. Everybody knows this. That hangover. Obviously, they're a very young, hopefully still hungry team. As far as dynasties go, they could be creeping up on one. Like it wouldn't shock anybody if they won it again this year. They have one of the best rosters and the reigning MVP, of course. So, but the regular season is a grind. Guys have got their money. They won't be surprised if they took a little load off. They could win 60 games again and still be the best team in the league in this being under. So I'll go with that. I don't think there's any other 60 win teams in the NBA this year.
Oh, really? Dang.
60?
I mean, yeah. I was gonna say maybe the Cavs. Maybe. I can see them getting to 60 games.
Okay.
I mean, the East isn't that good.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
I can see the Cavs getting to 60.
You're right. You're definitely right.
Oh, what do you think, Marco?
I'll take I got them right at that exact number actually. I think OKC, they're going all in. Of course, they want to repeat, extended all their guys to long money. So now you kind of have a timeline of how bad you want to go in. I got them right at that number. I can't see a real fall off from SGA. I think Jalen, he's more. I can't see a fall off from any of them, to be honest. Like the only if I had to pick one out of their main three, maybe Chet takes a step back or something. I feel like that'd be the only one I'm like I can see it happening. But for the most part, I still believe in that team, and they're a young, hungry team. Like they're coming off winning a ring, and that's like it's crazy actually for how that team has been built and how long it's been to take to build that team and whatever. Like seeing the final piece come together and you get what you want. That's fire. So I think they're really starving for another one. I think they don't really have they will have teams that definitely will give them some issues, but I think they're just so well coached, so experienced. Everything is just I just can't see them getting under 60 wins. Like something drastic will have to happen for them to get under 60 wins. Chris.
All right, so sorry, Marco. You said over, or so it's over or under?
I guess let's just do the over, but it's an over because I'm right at that number.
So you will probably say 63, 64, basically.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, in a loaded West, this is the best team. I think they're still the deepest team. They have some big time talent at the top. They have a lot of defenders. I think this is another year where there's still the money crunch hasn't hit them yet. Obviously, it's coming soon. I think Isaiah Hartenstein's contract is probably an example of when they knew those contracts were gonna kick in, because I think this is his last year guaranteed. Yeah, I think 62.5 is a crazy high number, but Chet only played 32 games last year and they won 70. I think that's a crazy good team. They have one of the best guard scorers of all time. I think Shea's becoming, it's 3 straight seasons, 30 points per game now. There is some PRA, right? This is the PRA era, and there's a lot of possessions, but I mean, you still got to put the ball in the net, and he's doing it. The NBA has been up and down before, and not too many guys have had this many 30-point seasons in a row, and the number in a season, right? And then you have J-Dub who's kind of coming into his own. I think he really took a step forward last year. I mean, obviously, all NBA, all defense, but I think physically he looked like he's really taking his body seriously. I think this is a guy who has years to go of being a really top, really, really good player. I expect him to be on the next Team USA. 62.5 is still a lot, right? I'm going to say over just because they still have a lot of their main core from last year. We'll see if Topic plays. I think losing Sorber is interesting. They might have been really good if they got him, but 62 is less. I mean, it's 6 less than last year, right? So it's reasonable. I think all their guys no one's regressing. So yeah, I'll take the over. just because I think this is the best team in the NBA, and Shea's at his peak, and they have two guys that can go get buckets. And I think we haven't even seen the best of Chet yet. I think the league is going to catch up some. That's why they don't win 70 games. I think it's really hard to be. Obviously, it's really hard to be up there 2 seasons in a row. But yeah, just health, nicks and knacks along the way. They'll drop some, but yeah, I'll take the over. That's a really really good team.
I'm gonna take the over as well. Like Chris mentioned, even with Chet only playing 32 games, they still won 68 games. And with me and Leon arguing for a little bit, I think it's gonna be they're probably gonna be the only 60 win team in the NBA, along with possibly the Cavaliers again. But yeah, these are all guys that are basically in their prime, and they're probably gonna just play basically at the same level as they did last season. I don't really expect like too much of a decrease, but even if so, they won 68 games last season. So if the West gets like really super competitive, they can still probably be at like 63 wins and still have like a great season on possibly develop players, maybe, right? They can probably just lose a few games just from developing players alone and still be fine. They'll fine. I expect them to be the first seed and probably be like top 5 defense, top 5 offense. So I think it's just an easy over for me. They're probably gonna be one of the best teams in the league, obviously. Now we're gonna go to our last team, the Portland Trailblazers. 33 and a half games, over or under. I'm gonna start with you for the last team. Marco, go ahead. What's your thoughts on the hold on, let me give these potential starting lineup. Scoot Henderson, Tumani Kamara, Denny Avida, Jeremy Grant, and Donovan Clingan. What's your thoughts on the Portland Trailblazers? Once again, they're 33 and a half
Shaden
games
Sharp is
over
starting.
under.
Shaden Sharp is starting.
Okay, I'll change it. So I'll just replace Tumani Kamara with Shaden Sharp.
It's they got them at 33.
33 and a half.
And they won 21 games last year?
No, I don't think so. They won 36 games.
They did?
Yeah, they won 36 games.
Okay. But that was with Fernie Simons too.
Yeah, you're right.
And I personally don't believe in Scoot. I think I have a general idea of what he is now, sadly. I believe in Denny. I don't believe in Jeremy Grant because he only shows up against teams where it doesn't really matter. I'm taking that under because Simons was like a big offensive engine for them. While I do like Sharp, I don't think Sharp has that help to really get them over that hump. Honestly, Denny is a good player. He's breaking out, becoming his own thing. I like his progression, how he's been. Another guy I wanted on the Hawks, but yeah, I'm gonna take the under. Also with Clingan having 2 real injuries in his rookie year and being that big, being that tall with the weight he had on him is always not the best mix. For example, Zion being that big for how hard he was jumping, that's a lot of weight to move around. That's just a lot to keep up with. So if Clingan isn't really 100% healthy and you're going to get him out from there, it just doesn't really make sense to me. But I'll take that proud under. Like, just don't really believe in majority of the players on that roster. Maybe if Dame didn't have that Achilles tear, it'd be a different conversation. But as of right now, yeah, I'll take the under. Leon.
I'm going over. This is my surprise playoff team. I don't care if they get there from the 10 spot. I think they're going to make the offs. Denny and Shaden, after a year together, they're going to start together. It's going to be fire. Tamani Kamara, He's going to get some more DPOY votes. Their center room, they can really pass the ball. I think Scoot might have a chance to actually figure something out this year with a group that actually suits him. And obviously they got Drew Holiday, who's a vet that just knows what he's doing. Might not even play that much, but he's a guy who can kind of whip him into shape. Obviously Dame is not going to play this year. And they got a nice young group, in my opinion, that is going to make some noise. And yes, a very loaded West. I think they are the team that's going to mess around and beat a lot of the teams that we talked about today. Probably not the Thunder, but the Wolves, Rockets, and Nuggets, yes, they can catch them slipping easily, in my opinion. So I'm going over on the 33.5. Yeah, keep blazing those trails. Chris?
I too am going to go over. I don't know that I'm going to say something as crazy as that the Trailblazers are going to make the playoffs, but I do like a lot of the pieces that they have put together out there. I was a Scoot believer. I haven't sold any stock there. I think he's got a lot of tools. I think it's a tough conference, right? And you got a bunch of young guys trying to figure it out. Didn't really have not the best vets. I think getting Ayton out of there, bringing Drew in, you got Dame coming home. There's some guys that can kind of mentor Scoot and help him with the mental side. I really like Kamara defensively. I think Klingon is huge there for them. What he does defensively, the ability to pass. Hansen Yang or Yang Hansen, however you want to say it. I think that's a player that has a chance to do some special things in the NBA if he kind of pans out. Very young center, right? But he doesn't have to start right away. He can kind of get eased in, but he's got some guards that should be able to give him the ball, man. I really like what they're putting together. It really might just come down to the coaching. I think they've got a lot of talented players. I would like multiple of those players on the Hawks. If Ansi can make that happen, I would love that. But seeing as how that probably won't happen, I think they will find a way to win somewhere close to 40. I think they'll sniff it. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to be a winning team for them in that conference. But I will take the over just because I think that's a pretty low number.
For me, I'm gonna take the over as well. I was surprised actually about how low this number was. They won 36 games last year, so I was just wondering how the number could be.
That was with dominating, man.
Yeah, that was with Aiden. It was weird. I think that was just a weirdly low number, but I guess that's probably because of just how the West is, I guess. But this is just, I think, a really bunch of talented players on here. So Denny Avila, Kamara, Klingon, my guy from the 2024 draft, who I think, okay, whatever. I think, and you got Yang Hansen, Scoot Henderson, who I think is probably going to improve a lot in his third year. I think he made a big jump during his second year. And you have other players like Shannon Sharp as well. I think they're going to be like a really good defensive team. And not only that, like with Denny Avila and Drew Holiday, they're going to be possibly like maybe sneakily good offensively as well. And I'm not going to say playoffs, but I won't be surprised if they were in the play-in maybe, potentially competing for a play-in. I can see him reaching maybe like 38, 39 wins based on like their defense alone. I think they're going to be like a good team soon in the West. So I'm going to say over. But I think we did all of the teams here. So I'm gonna have two questions. So my first question is, out of all the teams that we did today, which team do you think would surprise you with if they underperform or overperform? And I'm gonna start with you, Leon.
I mean, from the line or just like generally speaking?
Generally speaking.
Oh yeah, I mean the Thunder. I don't expect the Thunder to like not be good. That would surprise me the most. Well, actually, would the Pels being good surprise me more? No, I think the Thunder being bad would surprise me more.
Chris, what do you say?
You almost stole mine because I was going to say the Pels being good would really surprise me. Everybody being healthy and Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen not being horrible on defense. I would be shocked if that was a good basketball team. But, weirder things have happened.
And Marco, what do you say?
I would be very surprised if the Pelicans are good. That's the one. That's the one I'm actually like, just can't see it.
I'm gonna say if the Phoenix Suns make the playoffs, I will be shocked. I'll be 100% shocked. I'll be on the floor.
On the floor is kind of crazy.
But my last question before we end this off is which conference do you think will be better? The East or the West? I mean, I'll start with you, Marco.
Man, you already know the answer to that, man.
I mean, I'm trying to start a discussion. Maybe
it's going to be the West, man. The East is completely hurt, and even if it was even crazier about the East situation, if the Hawks are like, if we are a top team, we still won't get the credit we deserve. So it's West off rip because there's literal powerhouses over there.
What do you say, Leon?
I mean, with a weekend East, there's really no debate. They're better at the top, even like their bad teams could like win games. The East's bad teams are not going to win games and aren't going to try to win games for most of the year. Like the Nets aren't trying to win any games. I mean, like it's Nets and Jazz, and the Nets are probably worse than the Jazz. So we're gonna have to go Western Conference, defending champs. In the top 3 teams of the East, one team's missing. Western Conference, man, just getting the dub this year. Probably, I don't think the only team that can come out of the East and win the finals is the Hawks.
You heard it here first. What do you think, Chris?
Well, Leon did steal part of my take. Well, question: does that mean the better record overall, or who wins the finals?
I was thinking better record overall, but you can include who wins the finals. That's fine with me.
Because I mean, if the champion of the Eastern Conference becomes the champion of the NBA, then I mean, personally, I would say the East was. Because just because all your records are pretty, don't mean like y'all hooping. Because in the East, man, it's tough, man. It's physical. You see how many people going down, getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? You had Trae Young hurt Ben Simmons back into his career almost. So
yeah,
it's not sweet over here. That said, I mean, if you're going by record, the West likely, obviously, will come out on top. They have some pretty stacked teams. There's a lot of offense there. There's some solid regular season formulas. Though, if we're talking about winning a championship, I think any of the teams that come out of the East have a legitimate shot. This is a conference, I think, that is pretty physical. And the team that's healthy and survives that gauntlet has a real shot. And since it will be the Hawks, we're going to win. So, yeah.
Yep.
That's my answer.
I'm gonna say East for the championship and for overall record. That's the hot take for this podcast. I think we're gonna surprise everyone this year. East Coast is the best coast this year. So I don't know why, I just have a good feeling this year. But with that, that's gonna end part 3 of covering the Western Conference teams. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we end this off?
Go Hawks.
That's a good final thought.
Shout out
Oh.
Auntie. You've been making great moves. I'm looking forward to see what's next. I hope the Hawks do something with this last roster spot. And get a player in that you don't need a huge star right now, but if you can just get another good NBA player in, that'd be awesome. So yeah, that's my
Yes,
final
sir. All right, with that, that's episode 46 of Hard Knock Hawks. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you all next time.
Oh.
Oh.